I'm Simon Shapiro, previously president of Tags Hardware, and have been president since 1972. It's a family business that started in 1955. The store opened in 57. It's been in the family for 60 years. I've been here for 42 years. I came back in 1972. In Cambridge overall,
my trip started in Boston, and I first headed north up the Atlantic coast and over to the White Mountains, further west to the Green Mountains, on down to Bennington, and then to Stourbridge. My car for the trip was appropriately in maple leaf red. I went to New England in October hoping to see colour, and the good folks of Maine provided it in the form of displays of pumpkins and pot mums in profusion. Nature's fall colours would take over later when I reached the mountains of New Hampshire and Vermont. I already knew that chrysanthemums came in a whole range of colours, but I had absolutely no idea of the multitude of colours, shapes and sizes that pumpkins could be had in. Both species seemed to have completely taken over the farm shop, along with a few decorated corn sheaves and corn dolls. As I headed on north to the White Mountains through the Sebago Lakes region, I stopped off for a so-called end-of-season foliage cruise. The boat was named the Songo River Queen and was styled on a Mississippi River paddle wheeler. The cruise was around the shores of Long Lake. It clearly showed Americans' love of building by lake shores, with everything from mansions through cabins to basic boathouses to be seen nestling in between the trees. When I reached the railway town of North Conway, at the edge of the White Mountain National Forest, I was introduced to the pumpkin people, mannequins of all sorts with pumpkins at their heads. Later, I found that there was no limit to the indignities a pumpkin could suffer. Another feature of New England is its covered bridges, dating back to the 1800s. All states have them, but Vermont has over 100 and New Hampshire over 50. These pumpkin car charts were enjoying their game outside the local cafe. There were also sea creatures and even horses getting in on the act, but the really scary set, called Pumpkin Food Chain, was outside the local primary school. While most of the covered bridges were still fully functioning, sometimes road realignments had made them redundant and available for other purposes. In the north of the White Mountains is Mount Washington. At 6,288 feet, it is the highest peak in the range, but it's also famous for its dangerously erratic weather. Even with a day of clear blue skies elsewhere, it alone was still capped with clouds. I had hoped to go up the famous Auto Road, but because of poor visibility and ice, travel up was limited to the halfway point. So after a pause, I decided on a plan B and go round the other side of the mountain where a cog railway operated and hope that there was a late afternoon clearing of the weather. Fortunately, it did clear, and the masts of the observatory right in top suddenly appeared. My trip up the amazing little vintage railway is the subject of a separate video. Maples, white buildings and blue skies always make a winning combination. The low cross struts on this bridge had definitely caught
Take the houses back, take the houses back, take the houses back, take the houses back, take the houses back. They belong to the people, take the houses back.
Every day, millions of us are struggling to find affordable housing. We are facing enormous rent increases
and being forced from our homes by unjust eviction.
as federal authorities threaten to cut billions from HUD
Corporate and Wall Street landlords get government subsidies to buy upper communities
for pennies on the dollar.
Meant to roam like a signal phone. It's true indeed. There's a human need. People on the street and the cribs empty.
Corporate landlord think they can steal our culture.
Devour our paychecks.
Push us out of our neighborhood.
And turn our communities into playgrounds for the wealthy.
Think of garden plots, then guard them plots. Cause the block is hot, unbar the lots. Then watch.
But the renter nation is rising up.
Take the house back, baby, take the house back. Take the house back, baby, take the house back. We don't gotta go get nobody's house trap. We got what we need in our community.
From small towns to large cities, renters all across the country are standing up.
organized tenant unions.
Winning rent control campaigns.
And building communities that actually work for our people.
Cost of living going up, chances of living going down.
Join us on the week of September the 18th for the National Renters Week of Action.
Communities all across the country will be organized bold actions
Targeting HUD, corporate developers,
Government officials and others who hold power and influence.
For a buck and a lease, when the bank's foreclosure game ain't over. I came to the office, they march like soldiers, like
whatever the fight looks like in your community.
The Renters Week of Action is a chance to educate, amplify
And take bold, powerful action.
with the entire renter nation.
house back, baby, take the house back. Take the house back, baby, take the house back. We don't gotta go get nobody's mouth.
Now is the time.
Now, and I mean now, is the time to take back our homes.
Take back our homes and our communities.
I was at right here.
Standing in solidarity with hundreds of thousands from around the United States to declare that housing is a human right.
Chances of living going down, the cost of living is going up. Chances of living is going down, the cost of living is going up. Chances of living is going down.
Take the houses back, 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 take the houses back. They belong to the people, take the houses back.
Every day, millions of us are
Hello and welcome to another episode of this, your Human Service News and Information. I'm Hasson, Rashid, your host, and I'll be here with you for approximately 25 more minutes. It's excellent here being with you, and it's such an awful great achievement and accomplishment to come into your lives like we do here daily at Cctv. And with that, I welcome you to another episode, once again, of your Human Service News and Information, and I greet you with the universal cordial, with a universal cordial, and that is of peace. Peace be unto you, peace, security, sanity, joy, and happiness. I'm Hasson Rashid, and before we get the program, I'd like to send out my deepest sympathies and condolence to the nation of Mexico. You know, Mexico has been hit for the second time in less than a month with the earthquake, and I think last time I heard the death toll was over 100. So that was a serious earthquake down in Mexico, and the people in Mexico have my deepest sympathy and condolence for all of the loss of lives, properties, etc., from that second great natural catastrophe, disaster down in Mexico, and also the folks of Texas and the southern seacoast, Florida, etc., They have my deepest sympathy and condolence. Okay, get the program going. I'd like to, well, I guess you might have figured out what that first opening video was all about. Well, it's that time of year, again, if you know it or not, and that is fall. Well, the next time you see me, it'll be fall. Fall is, I guess that's the autumn equinox, and I think that begins on the 22nd of September, so that's just knocking on our door. So next time you see me, I put that video on so that you won't be walking around here thinking that it's still summer. No, it's not summer anymore. This is about the last 24 hours of summer, late summer. So, okay, that's the autumn equinox, 2017. Okay, okay, and the second one was the depiction of the fact that this week, from the 18th to the 24th, is what is known as National Renters Action Week, and the renters in most of the major cities in the United States will be bringing different priorities to their elected officials in regards to the condition of housing in the nation. So I'm not certain if Cambridge, the Renters Nation, is participating here in Cambridge, but I know for sure that they're participating. I think they have some events over in Boston, okay, but I don't have the exact location. But if you like additional information, I guess you can go to their website, and that's rentersnation.org, okay, for more information. 18th to 24th, it's Renters Week of Action. Okay, CCTV. Now we're going to focus on something that has some things happening around here at CCTV. I heard despite the rain, the threat of rain, serious rain and thunder, that the Backlot Barbecue held last week here at CCTV was a huge success, okay? Despite the weather conditions, okay? For people over 50, there's computer skills coming up, and that's Mondays and Thursdays from 1 to 3 p.m. So, our friendly, knowledgeable interns are here to help you learn basic computer skills. Together, you'll learn how to stay in touch with family and friends, search for answers to your questions on the internet, scan your photos and share them, and use applications, websites, and computer software to help make your life simpler, from checking train schedules to saving useful information for later. Okay, your first 2 visits are free. After 2 visits, the program is free for CCTV members. If you are over 60 years old, membership is $35. For those younger than 60, membership is $75. So computer skills for people over 50 right here, offered on Monday and Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So if you'd like additional information, you can contact Michael at 617-401-4058. Okay, cell phone cinema. It's a class here. It's starting. It's there are 4 sessions. Okay, and the first session starts tomorrow. So if you hurry, you might still be able to register for that class. So if you like additional information, you can call 617-4009, okay, for enrollment information. That's cell phone cinema. With the vast range of apps and software available, it's now possible to produce a great looking video from concept to completion using just one handheld device, your smartphone. So in this workshop, participants will learn how to quickly create and share videos with only their smartphones and laptops. So you still may have time to roll in this course. That starts tomorrow, September 21st, September 28th, October 5th and 12th from 6 to 9 p.m. Okay, so if you'd like to inquire about that, still being time available, open to register for this course, you can call 617-40 14009. Okay. One more thing about CCTV. There's another class coming up. Not a class, but this is an opportunity. Call for feminist videos. Call for feminist videos. Call for feminist videos. Cambridge Community Television will be hosting a screen of feminist video works created by local film or video makers of all age on Wednesday, October 11th, and we're currently accepting submissions. Have you or someone you know made a video with a feminist theme? If yes is the answer, please email the video or video link to Keaton, that's Keaton at cctvcambridge.org. So if you have a feminist related video that you made or you know someone that made, you're invited to mail that video or video link to Keaton at cctvcambridge.org. And don't forget now, it's not too late. It's not too late in the season for fresh produce and other items, okay, other fresh items at the Central Square Farmers Market, and they'll be there every Monday, noon to 6 p.m. until November 20th. So they're located at Bishop Allen Drive and North Fork Street, but they're accepting EBT and SNAP, so there are other locations too. But since Central Square Farmers Market is closer to CCTV, I decided to just focus on that one. And next week we'll share the information with you on the other locations of the Cambridge Farmers Market, because the Thanksgiving's coming up, and a lot of folks like to eat fresh, and that's the place to be, the Cambridge Farmers Market. Okay, the Coakley commits to attend gubernatorial forum. The Providers Council, which represents a sector with more than 145,000 employees across Massachusetts, will host a Human Service Gubernatorial Forum on Wednesday, September 24th, 2014, from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the historic Faneuil Hall, and WCVB TV Karen Holmes Ward will moderate the forum. So the Providers Council is going to host a Governor's Forum at Faneuil Hall, September 24th, 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. And I tell you, if you're interested in the governor's election there this year, I think today was the last day you had to register before the election. This was the last day. So if you like to register for the governor's election, if you can get over to, I guess, one of the election offices where you can register. I think that's 51 Emmons Street here in Cambridge. I don't know. I don't think you can go to City Hall and register for governor's race, but today's the last day for that. And okay, all right. Okay, getting back to the Renters Week of Action, National Housing Crisis. Renters across the country are staging a week of protest to challenge rent increases, evictions, and cuts to the U.S. Department of Housing, U.S. Development. That's today. It started September 18th. The renters in more than 45 U.S. cities kicked off Renter Week of Action, a week of direct action aimed at addressing rent increases, mass eviction, and cuts to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Right to the City, the anti-gentrification group behind the campaign, announced a wide range of actions to disrupt landlords, corporations, and government officials, and including citywide tours of communities in crisis, banner drops, and creative actions at cities. So I encourage them to go on and do their thing, okay, because the housing situation is very bad, okay, especially housing for the homeless, okay, and other low-income sections of the community, okay. 13 Massachusetts children died of abuse and neglect at the hands of their caretakers in 2016, according to newly released data by the State Department of Children and Families, okay? That's 3 more deaths compared to the year before, but still a significant drop in child fatalities since 2013, when 39 child fatalities in the states were linked to abuse and neglect. 4 of the 13 children who died last year had been at some time under the watch of state social workers state records show. State officials said child fertility data can vary from year to year, but the relatively low number of deaths follows efforts by Governor Charlie Baker to improve the state agency's task with helping troubled families. Okay, so these children death from abuse and neglect, I guess it's rising. It's on the increase. Okay. Okay, ABCD, and Mass Coalition for the Homeless urge legislators to get safer access to emergency shelters, okay? Action with Boston Community Development Advocates for Low-Income Residents and Families Struggling to Overcome Poverty with our mission to empower those that are disadvantaged. The ABC joined the Massachusetts Coalition for the Homeless and State Representative Local Marjorie Decker from right here in Cambridge in efforts to remove the requirements that families spend a night in conditions unfit for habitation to qualify for emergency shelters in Massachusetts. And Marjorie Decker, she's sure at the forefront when it comes to things like homelessness, and she's doing a great job over there at the State House in Boston, well representing Cambridge, okay? Greetings. The National Organization of Human Services and Associates. Another attempt is being made to repeal the Affordable Care Act introduced in the Senate by Senator Lindsey Graham and Bill Cassidy. The Graham-Cassidy bill will repeal and replace essential components of the Affordable Care Act. It's aimed to strip away $80 billion in federal support for health care coverage. In addition, it would eliminate the expansion of Medicaid benefits to millions of Americans who need them the most. Contact your centers. So the National Organization of Human Services are recommending that, suggesting that you contact your senators today by calling the U.S. Capitol directly at 202-224-3121. That's 202-224-3121. To be connected to your senator's office, urge them to vote no on Graham-Cassidy. So they thank you for your efforts in going out and reversing this awful Affordable Care Act that's in the Senate now. They say this one is worse than the ones that preceded it. Okay. Okay. Now another thing about the National Organization of Human Service, they want to see you in Des Moines. That's where they're having their annual convention this year. They want to know if you are registered yet for the National Organization of Human Service Conference 2017 in Des Moines, Iowa. Only 31 days before the kickoff of Community Connections, bridging the gaps between academia, community, and human service professionals. You do not want to miss this special conference, which offers grand opportunities to learn, network, and have fun, all the while increasing your knowledge and skills and building strengthening connections in your community. That's a conference highlights, Friday Night Gala, October 20th, 2017. So there's still time. You'll be hearing more about that. We're almost running out of town. We're about almost just about the point of leaving you for another episode of Human Service News and Information. But I want to tell you that the Cambridge elections is coming up. The Cambridge municipal elections for City Council and School Committee will be held on November 7th. And don't forget that polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Deadline to register is October 2017. So the municipal elections, school committee elections, the deadline to register is October. But for the governor's election, the deadline was to register is today. Okay, deadline to request an absentee ballot for local municipal elections. That's Monday, November 6, 2007 at 12 p.m. City Council candidates and school committee candidates. I'm telling you, there's a lot of them. There's over 26 city running for City Council. And I think there's about 13 for the school committee this year. So it's a very important election. And it's very important also that you get registered and participate in the electoral process. Okay, a few other things I had for you today, but I guess we're going to have to pass them up because time is catching up with us and we got to move along. I'm Hasson Rashid, your host, and this has been Human Service News and Information. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, I'd like to remind you that you should always keep your nose clean, play straight, and don't forget to assist someone in need of help. Until next time, I leave you with the universal cordial of peace Okay, until next time.
There's no cavalry coming to save the day in our communities. We are the iconic leaders that we've been waiting for. We are the curators of the change we're seeking to see.
Black male achievement is about the potential, beauty, and humanity of every single Black boy that's born in the United States.
At our core, American values are about equality, opportunity, democracy. And in each of those values, Black men and boys have suffered greatly.
We cannot say that we have succeeded as a country when an entire demographic continues to fail by little fault of their own.
My name is Sean Dove, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Campaign for Black Male Achievement. I think I've been prepared for this work since I was born. I didn't grow up with my dad, never woke up one day to say good morning to my father. My mother was a single mom, and around that time I began to hang out in the streets. I grew up in the drug culture. I was getting deeper and deeper into my addiction. One of my best friends said there's this youth program, they're giving away uniforms and sneakers for their basketball team. And it was called the Dome Project. The executive director was a man named John Simon. And I remember one day he said to me, you have potential, Sean. You spend less time on the corner of 80th Street and Amsterdam Avenue, you can do things. I came to learn that the right word from the right person at the right time can have a transformational impact. I joined the Open Society Foundations in 2008 when they were launching a campaign for Black Male Achievement. Hiring Rashid was one of the smartest things that I did, and we had a unique ability to navigate both the boardroom and the block.
So often when we come together in these spaces around Black men, it's in their